Chapter 6-7 in Algebra 1, Polynomial long division. Now, oftentimes you won't see polynomial long division in Algebra 1. Many times it's introduced in Algebra 2, but it's always nice to be able to provide an introduction to it, a nice foundation. It is relatively straightforward, very much like when we have, here, let's do it on this page. When we have something like, let's do 6 divided into 312, I don't know. So we look at that number, we take the first two, 6 goes into 31 5 times, so 6 times 5 is 30. Notice, that's a positive number, but what do we do with that? We subtract it, so we change the sign, and we get 1, we bring down the 2, and 6 goes into 12 2 times, and we do 2 times 6 is 12, and then we change the sign, and we look for 0. That's the thing that students oftentimes struggle with. Now, if we have 4 divided by 315, you know what we do here? We do 4 goes into 3. No, 4 goes into 30 7 times, 28, and then we change the sign to a negative. That gives us 3. We bring down the 5, 35. 4 goes into 35 8 times, 32, change the sign, and we take 3, and what do we do with this remainder? Remainder, we can take that 3 and put it over the divisor. So we're going to see a lot of that same stuff here. So when we have x plus 5 divided into x squared plus 8x plus 15, instead of factoring this, oftentimes students will factor a times c, but this is long division, so we'll do it in this manner. We'll take the first term and see how many times it goes into the first term. So x goes into x squared x times. And so now we multiply it by this. X times x is x squared. X times 5 is 5x. And here's the hard part. Now I have to change each of the signs. And now I'm going to take that x squared. They cancel. 8x minus 5x is 3x, and then we bring down the 15. So again, we look and we see x goes into 3x 3 times. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 is 15, and we're going to change the signs. These cancel, you're left with 0. So my answer is x plus 3. It's a very interesting technique, and it definitely takes some practice. Oh, I'm going to write it in standard form. So notice, not in standard form. I'm going to write it in standard form first thing. So I'm going to take my firsts. X times x gives me x squared minus 5x. And then I'm going to change the signs. My x squares cancel, and I'm left with 4x. I'm going to bring down the negative 20. I'm going to look. Goes in 4 times. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 5 is negative 20. And then I'm going to change the signs. And these cancel to give me 0. So that is my answer, x plus 4. N minus 6. Goes into n squared minus 3n minus 18, and goes into n squared n times. We get n squared minus 6n. Let's change the signs. Those cancel, and we're left with 3n. Bring down the negative 18. n, 3 goes into 3n. We get 3n minus 18. Change the signs of each of those, and we get 0, and that's my answer. Again, make sure that you're going to write this in standard form. n squared minus 9n minus 22. N becomes n squared plus 2n. Let's change the signs. That's negative 11n minus 22. Now, I like this. So n goes into negative 11n negative 11 times. We're trying to match it up. We want to match it, and then we will change the sign. So negative 11 times n is negative 11n. Negative 11 times 2 is negative 22. And now I'm going to change the signs. And I get 0. And that's a good one. That's our first. That's a little different. N plus 5. N squared plus 7n plus 10. N goes into n squared n times. Then we distribute it back out. We get n squared plus 5n. And then we have to subtract this from it. So it's easier just to rewrite it for the eyeball test. That's 2n plus 10. And now n goes into 2n 2 times, which 2n plus 10. Change the signs. And they cancel to make 0. And my answer is n plus 2. X minus 3. I don't know why they don't know what the value of rewriting it. I mean, okay, attention to detail. Okay, got to make sure you align, sure. But I don't know. It just is weird that they would do that. 6x minus 18. X goes into 6x 6 times. We get 6x minus 18. Well, change the signs. You get 0. So, I don't know. I just want to see if you're paying attention, I guess. 2x plus 1. You get 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Feel like this might be a leftover. 2x, so we're going to multiply it by x. You get 2x squared plus x. Change the signs. You get negative 6x minus 3. That's a negative 3. Gives you negative 6x minus 3. Nope. No leftovers. But I do like the negative. That's a good paying attention, understanding the process. X squared minus 12x plus 32. We're going to multiply by x. You get x squared minus 8x. Switch the signs. That's negative 4x plus 32. We're going to multiply by negative 4. We want to match it. And then change the signs. 0. All of these are really good practice. We want them working out in the beginning. They tried to do it again. X squared minus 4x. Change the signs. 12x minus 48 plus 12 gives me 12x minus 48. Get down there and I start dragging other things. 0. X plus 12 is my answer. X minus 11. X squared minus 8x minus 33 times x is x squared minus 11x. Change the signs. That's going to give me 3x minus 33 plus 3 gives me 3x minus 33. Change them. 0. That's my answer. I think we'll start getting into, hopefully, start getting into ones where they don't work. So n is n squared minus 3n. Change those signs. Negative 4n plus 12. Negative 4. Negative 4n plus 12. Change those signs. Not yet. It's coming. We're kind of almost halfway. Problem 12, that's x plus 5 divided into x squared plus 2x minus 15. Let's multiply it by x. You get x squared plus 5x. Change each of the signs. We're subtracting that from, and we get negative 3x minus 15. X times what is negative 3x? A negative 3. We get negative 3x minus 15. Subtract that from. It's just like changing all the signs. Ooh, this is nice. That's a good one. I like this. 6x squared plus x minus 40. That's going to be a 2x would give us 6x squared plus 16x. Let's switch the signs. That gives us negative 15x minus 40. And that's going to be a negative 5. Negative 15x minus 40 works perfectly. No leftovers yet. But at least we've got bigger coefficients in our binomial that we're dividing it into. 3x squared minus 10x minus 8. We're going to multiply it by an x. 3x squared plus 2x. Negative 12x minus 8. That's going to be a negative 4. Gives us negative 12x minus 8. And still working. Still working. 3a plus 5. 3a squared plus 8a plus 5. That's going to be an a. We get 3a squared plus 5a minus, that's 3a plus 5. Ooh, I like this. Got to multiply it by a 1. And we distribute that 1, we get 3a plus 5. We'll change each of those signs, getting 0. All right, that's a good one. I like that. That's a little different. X plus 4. Standard form. We're going to multiply by 2x to get 2x squared plus 8x. Change them up. That's going to be negative 5x minus 20. We're going to multiply by a negative 5. You get negative 5x minus 20. Change each of those signs. 0. There you go. Here we go. Here we go. We've been waiting. You've been asking for it. You got it. So we're going to multiply by a. We get a squared minus 2a. Let's change those signs. That's going to give us 5a minus 7. Multiply by a positive 5. We get 5a minus 10. Change the signs. And we get a leftover of 3. So it's going to be plus 3 over a minus 2 by its divisor. Yeah, finally. But that wasn't hard. That's no different. It's just you need to know what to do with your leftover, which is really easy. So we're going to multiply by k. You get k squared minus 3k. Change those signs. Negative 4k. Plus 13, you're going to multiply by a negative 4, negative 4k plus 12. Change the signs, and you get 1. So plus 1 over k minus 3. So good. I mean, it's really proficient, especially when it's unfactorable. So that's a really cool way of doing it. We're going to multiply by 2x. Whoa! Gives us 6x squared plus 4x minus. That's going to give us negative 3x minus 6. We're going to multiply it by a negative 1. We like that. Minus 3x minus 2. Change the signs. And that gives us negative 4. So minus 4 over 3x plus 2. Yeah. Oh, this is, all right, good. We haven't had one of these yet. You get x squared plus 9. This is fun. So multiply by x, that's super easy. X squared minus 3x. Change the signs. Now, the x squared cancels. The 9 and the 3x are unlike terms, so you get 3x plus 9. And then we're going to multiply it by 3, which gives us 3x minus 9. And now we change the signs, and that gives us 18. So plus 18, yeah, it's not an 18. 18 over x minus 3. Yeah, that's a good one. When it skips a term, notice we didn't have a term, an x to the first term in the numerator. So we just have to be careful and not combine those, because those are unlike terms. 2a squared plus 5a minus 10. So we'll multiply it by an a. You get 2a squared minus a. And the other place that students make their mistakes is they forget to flip the signs. Minus 10. Let's multiply that by 3. 6a minus 3. Don't forget to change the signs. Negative 7 minus 7 over 2a minus 1. X minus 1, standard form. Multiply by x, you get x squared minus x. Change them. You get negative x plus 5 multiplied by a negative 1, which gives us negative x plus 1. Change the signs. Lots of changing, flipping, turning. Make sure I did that correctly. Positive 1, yep, that's correct. Ooh, 4 terms. Shouldn't change anything, just do the same exact thing. You just got to do it, keep going. So this is a squared, becomes a cubed plus a squared. Change them. That gives you negative 3a squared minus 3a plus 4. Bring everything down. Now we're going to multiply that by a negative 3a, which gives us negative 3a squared minus 3a. Change it. That cancels, and you're left with 4. So that's your leftover. Ooh, plus 4 over a plus 1. All right, just understanding your leftover and what that means. Yeah, I like that. That was pretty cool. All right, a plus 1, and we'll get some leftovers here. So multiply it by a squared, a cubed plus a squared. Change them. So you get negative a squared plus 1. Bring that 1 down. You're going to multiply it by negative a, which is negative a squared minus a. Change the signs. That gives us a plus 1. Bring down. And that's going to be plus 1. Hey! And we're going to get a plus 1. Change the signs. And we get 0. So that actually worked. Nice. I like that. I like it a lot. N cubed minus 8, we'll multiply by n squared. N cubed minus 2n squared. Change each of the signs. 2n squared minus 8. Multiply by 2n. That's 2n squared minus 4n. Change the signs. That gives us 4n minus 8. We're going to multiply it by a positive 4. We get 4n minus 8. Change those signs, and we get 0, and this one worked again. That's my answer. Good problems. I'm like, whoa, okay. I like this. This is fun. This is challenging. I want a hard one. So that's going to be x squared. That's 2x cubed minus x squared. Don't forget to change the signs. Those cancel. You're left with negative 6x squared. Bring everything else down. I'm going to multiply by a negative 3x. Negative 6x squared plus 3x. You want to match that first term. And then we change the sign so they cancel. That's 12x minus 6. We're going to multiply that by 6, which gives us 12x minus 6. Change them, 0, and it works. I don't think we're supposed to factor those. I don't think, no, we don't have to. Polynomial or mixed expression. X plus 3, 2x cubed plus 9x squared. Missing a term. 2x squared gives us 2x cubed plus 6x squared. Minus 3x squared minus 27. Be careful. 3x squared. Yeah. So we're going to multiply it by a 3x. We get 3x squared plus 9x. There it is. There's where we start finding that missing term. We're going to multiply by a negative 9. That gives us negative 9x minus 27. Change the signs. Gives us 0. And that would be our answer. Not many more. Here we go. Push it. Push through. We like the practice. We like the repetition. I know that we feel like we're pretty proficient right at the moment, but let's not make any silly mistakes going into this. We have 2x squared minus 6. We're going to multiply that by a 2x. You get 2x squared plus 4x. Let's flip those signs. And we get negative 4x minus 6. Let's multiply by a negative 4. Yep, so this doesn't work out nice. Negative 4x. Negative 4x minus 8. Change them. You're left with a positive 2 left over. So plus 2 over x plus 2. X minus 2. X cubed minus 4x squared plus x plus 6. X squared, you get x cubed minus 2x squared. Change each of those signs. Negative 2x squared plus x plus 6. Multiplied by a negative 2x. You get negative 2x squared plus 4x. Flip those signs. Negative 3x plus 6. Multiply by a negative 3. And we get negative 3x plus 6. Change those signs. Gives me 0. And it worked out nice and clean. And yes, that is factorable. But I don't think you have to factor this into factor pairs. It doesn't really do you anything. X minus 2, x to the third plus 6x squared minus x minus 30. X squared becomes x cubed minus 2x squared. Change them up. 8x squared minus x minus 30 multiplied by an 8x. 8x squared minus 16x. Change them up. Change them up. 15x minus 30 multiplied by a 15. And you get 15x minus 30. Change each of the signs. You get 0. That wasn't very hard. 2x plus 1. 2x cubed minus x squared minus 5x minus 2. We're going to multiply by x squared, 2x cubed plus x squared. Change, minus 2x squared minus 5x minus 2. Multiply by a negative 2x. Nope, negative x, sorry, my bad. Negative x, negative 2x squared minus x. Change them so they cancel. Negative 4x minus 2. Multiply by a negative 2 gives us negative 4x minus 2. Change them. 0. Oh, not the last. Wow, my goodness, we got a lot more. They are digging deep. More than 30 today, kids. Okay, what are you going to throw me? How are you going to test me? That's x cubed plus 2x squared. Let's make sure that we get all these last ones correct. What? That's not in red. Let's make sure we get these correct. Plus 3. I am making mistakes. I want to be done. I want to be done, Mr. Mac. Well, you have to sometimes work through it and work twice as hard. So that's correct. Let's not get sloppy here. All right. Now, that's going to be negative 5x. So negative 5x squared minus 10x. I'm going to focus because I feel myself wavering. So I better buckle down and make sure I do it correctly, because it would be silly for me to make a 26. A silly mistake at this point, just because I'm tired, just because I'm being lazy. So let's not let that be the reason. We're going to be tired for tests sometimes. We're going to be tired for assessments. We're going to stay up super late and then be tired. And don't let that be the reason why you didn't do well. So take a second, turn the test over, refocus yourself, take a couple breaths, and then make sure that you are working at your best. Because if you don't, you're going to make silly mistakes. And then that's just silliness. Plus 7x minus 2. Let's multiply this by negative 3 because we want to match it. We're going to multiply it by negative 3x. So I caught my mistake. Plus 3x plus minus, that's going to be 4x minus 2 plus 2 gives us 4x minus 2, which is good because we know that we need them to match because we're going to subtract them from each other, and that's my answer. That was factorable, maybe. 3x minus 1, 3x cubed minus 7x squared minus 22x plus 8. So at this point, you're not listening to the directions. You already know it. You're here just to see if you got the right answer or where your mistake was. You're looking at your work compared to my work, and you're finding your mistake. So that is x squared becomes 3x cubed minus x squared. Let's change those signs. That's negative 6x squared minus 22x plus 8. We're going to multiply by a negative 2x, which gives us negative 6x squared plus 2x. Excuse me. Adding, subtracting, negative 24x plus 8. And that's going to be a plus 8. Nope, minus 8. Which is negative 24x. That's going to be plus 8. Change them. Gives us 0. That's our answer. 4x plus 1. Okay, I'm rejuvenated. I got this. my ADD was kicking in, and I was becoming very, very distracted. I didn't really feel like I was focused or whether I was doing the right work. I am good to go now. I am super focused and I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to multiply it by negative 5x, gives me negative 20x squared minus 5x. Let's flip them around. That's going to give me 32x plus 8. That's going to be an 8, and that gives me 32x plus 8. Change those signs, gives me 0. I know my answer is correct. Last one, finally. X plus 3. We have 5 terms now. Okay, tough guy. We got you. More doesn't make it harder. Just makes it a little bit longer. There's nothing different from this problem from the first one. It's just you have to keep going. And that's it. It's still super easy. 2x cubed gives you 2x to the 4th plus 6x cubed. And there's more things and more places to make a mistake. So that's why you gotta make sure that you are taking your time, focusing, and not making an easy mistake. That's negative x cubed minus 3x squared. So be diligent. Make sure that you are paying attention and doing the correct work. Minus x gives you negative x squared. Minus x gives you negative 3x. Change them. That gives you x plus 3. And guess what? Positive 1, which is x plus 3 minus 0. Yes, and that is your answer. Good job. No mas, 36 problems. So long division. Again, you may see it. You probably won't see it in Algebra 1. You will definitely see it in Algebra 2. You should be proficient at it. It is a skill. If you can do it now and get the foundation, awesome. Good luck.